Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about this first, and then we'll figure out the phone issue. Sometimes the voicemail could be because we didn't see it pop up. But I understand what you're saying now, so I will put my 2 cents in on that. But first, let me finish this little story. After making sure we were ready for the demonstration, I instruct the volunteer to keep his eyes closed and his mind clear. I make sure to keep my mind clear as well, so I won't interfere with the demonstration. I then instruct the audience that when I give a thumbs up signal behind his back, they are to silently send positive thoughts to the volunteer as, "I love you," or "You are wonderful." I tell the audience that when I give a thumbs down signal behind his back, they are to think negative thoughts about the volunteer, such as, "I hate you, you are disgusting." Let's go a little further. At my thumbs up signal, the audience began sending positive thoughts towards him. I gently push down on his outstretched arm. I remain silent during the demonstration to illustrate to everyone in the audience that it is their thought, or that their thought energy alone that is creating the effect. Without exception, the subject's arm was always strong. Then I give the thumbs down signal, and the audience begins sending negative energies or negative thoughts to the volunteer. I press down on his arm, but instead of being strong, his arm went invariably weak. Remember that during this process, he is not conscious or aware of the signal I was giving to the audience. He not only had his back to them, but my communication with the audience is non-vocal, and my hand signal to them are giving back behind his back, and his eyes were closed. This simple test has given consistently reliable results. Now, I do that too, and then one of the things is like when I do the zip up, what happens is that the frontal part of you is the vulnerability. If that central meridian is down, then it's easily, people can send energy. Now, with the central meridian, just me looking from her head, or from the top of her head down to her feet, can disempower her if she is not aware of how to strengthen and fine-tune her energies, because then it just leaves her vulnerable and open to other people. And if I had her zip up and use an intention, and then did my best to unzip it, then chances are, if she strengthens that inner core, then I can look her up and down and it won't affect anything. The back of it, a lot of people will become road rage, and it has everything to do with the energy of the car behind you. Not because you're just a road rage freak. It's just that your energy is down, and what happens is that you are now sensing everything around you to protect yourself, but now you become vulnerable and very paranoid. And what happens is that you end up taking that energy, and they're like, "Get out of the way, bitch!" And you're just as happy you can be, and all of a sudden you're like, "God!" You know, you're mad for some reason, or you go slower. You feel like you got to get defensive. Who can you fight? You never know.
It's so funny that now I understand that this is where road rage comes from, because my mom actually gave me some meditation CD specifically for people with road rage.
Was she saying you had road rage?
Oh, it was not a secret that I had road rage earlier.
Well, we all sense other people's energies, but a lot of times we don't realize that we sense them, and we don't realize that we can be that vulnerable. And to strengthen them, do the hookup, do the zip up, use chakra oils, use, I got scents and oils that can actually help build it. There's the homeopathics, the tree essences that is made to help protect your your sensory system around your body. Because without realizing it, with all of the narcotic nucleus, all the negativity, all of the fear, all of the soul's environment of its journey is stored in there, which causes us to have a weakened egg of protection. And it's very important. Now, well, I guess what Octarine was saying was simply that it was about the energies coming on this planet will affect you again. Awesome. Because you have to reacclimate with it. You have to decide. Balancing with it is just as if another person was sitting next to you. But every avenue can affect you. The ground energy, the universal energy, the microwaves, and the all kind of waves that we don't see. All of those frequencies have a code, And each parasite has a code. And the vibration of those parasites are lower than us, and which can cause damage. But if you, like the Royal Rife machine, Royal Rife, Raymond Royal, whatever his name is, Raymond Royal, I think it was. Anyways, his Rife machine was that you set the frequency to a certain parasite, and then you hold on to electrodes with moisture, and so then the electromagnetic energy would flow through your body. Not hurt you, but to kill off the parasite, help your body to fight back and have a little extra oomph. And there's all different kinds of ways of healing now on this planet, which is all good. There's all kinds of different machines that work excellent. But the power of suggestion also comes into play. So when we allow ourselves to step up to the plate, to heal, it's very important. Now, if I got that wrong, then you can go ahead and, well, see, Hilda Clark, I love Hilda Clark as well. Hilda Clark was a wonderful woman. I love her medicines, by the way, too. Okay, you know what? I'm going to try my best to see if she has got... Oh, doesn't say anybody called. Now, go through... It's a Skype phone number. Now, I don't understand why you couldn't get through there, dear. We're going to go here. Well, if you're on Skype, you can connect with us. We are MWR.Medicine Women Reveal. And you can find us on there. And we do have a phone number for Skype, and that's 989-945-0287.
Oh, that's why I got it wrong.
What did you do?
Oh, 827.
0287. Sorry about that, Actorine.
Oh,
Whoopsie
wrong
daisy.
number. Okay.
Yeah, well, that's all right. No big deal. But Hilda Clark, now I'm curious. So hopefully she can get through, and you didn't bug the other person.
No, you got an answer machine, so.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah, this. I wonder what it said. Hopefully it didn't say Monday.
This is not Sepia.
You want the medicine women
at work,
over there.
Our phone number at work is one number different from the. Oh, I don't know if it's Social Security or something, but we get the people all the time trying to. And this is Viron, and then they'll sit there and say, well, I want to check on my status of my check. No, this is not the. You can't convince them. Sometimes.
Yeah, well, that's funny. That is very funny. Okay, so there's a lot of great readers out there and a lot of great stories. The emotion code is, I love how the vibration is. Now, I understand about energies of morphine, that subtlety that's in the aura. And we are becoming more awakened on this planet, which means we are going to be more susceptible of noticing the changes. I don't know if anybody felt the frequencies of, oh, there she is, felt the frequencies of how the planet was with all of the, what is it, what's the meteor showers we had,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
What meteor showers? Okay.
Didn't see what you.
Hello, Miss
Hi.
Karen, are you there?
How are you?
Is it muted?
Oh.
We got to turn the volume on.
How the planet was.
Okay, so how do we...
Oh, Jen, okay, hold on. We have a little disturbance, and did this not work up here? Hello.
There.
Okay, did you not stop that, Jen?
Nope.
I thought it was earlier.
Okay,
It
so
might have
now,
play with
restarted. It restarted on its own.
all right.
It sometimes does that.
Now, are you there, Karen?
I am here.
Awesome.
Cool.
Now, what would you like to tell us?
Well, there's a lot about, when Jen said that somebody's energy was missing at the top of her head, that she's probably just...
Oh, that's what we're
energy.
referring to.
It's her body adjusting to the energy that's coming in. That kind of stuff has been going on a whole lot in the last 2 to 3 weeks. A lot. I mean, it's been going on for a while. The more sensitive people have been feeling it for years, but the last year it's been happening more and more. It just gets, more and more amplified as we get more into it, more deeper into the energy, or the energy comes closer to it. I don't know how to break that.
Okay, well, the veil is getting thinner from one aspect, so you're getting the vibration of other souls journeying. And then there is the vibration of the plane of existence, which is now going into the infrared energies. The frequencies are actually becoming higher, which there's that subtle energy. The changing of the planet itself to go into that energy. So most of the time it is that connecting with our higher self, because it's the as above, so below. We already had the Christ consciousness learning to develop for all these thousands of years. And now we're going into the Sophia energy, or the feminine energy, and that is about the self-love. And that is going to be even strong, and it's bridging those two together. So our higher self is what we're really supposed to be viewing through the daily life. That's why becoming a spiritual human has been very huge, because you can't just be an issue anymore. You have the rights to solve it.
You get to be a subscription.
Yeah, no, you can have a subscription.
That's true, but we're feeling it in our bodies. I mean,
Yes.
we're feeling it emotionally, but we're feeling it in our bodies in ways like Jen was saying, it felt like somebody was playing. I feel like somebody's just tickling the top of my head.
Yes.
You know, like just got their fingers just in my hair a little bit and just kind of gently stroking my hair, almost like there might even be a bug or something in my hair.
Right.
I mean, it's very gentle, very light, very weird feeling. Ears ringing, sleep disturbances,
Right.
weight fluctuations for no reason at all. The theory behind that is you know, we used to have to hold a lot of weight to hold the energy in, and now that we're clearing stuff out and we're getting emotionally lighter, we're also becoming physically lighter, but we're still in that flux stage between the two. So as we clear stuff out, we're losing weight, but then stuff comes up and we gain a little bit of weight back. That's the theory. I don't know if that's true or not. It's just, you know,
Well, yeah, I believe you. There's many avenues on the weight theory, but it is the fluctuation, because you've seen an hourglass where the sand goes through, and literally the weight has to redistribute in order to for the sand to come through. Well, as a physical being, we have to redistribute each time, and the energies and frequencies change, and so the weight is about that fluctuation. How can we take on and do this? Now, what I like what you pointed out was feeling. That is your knowing. It is, people just think feeling is, oh, let me touch you and I'll feel you. No, a feeling and being registered that's how you're going to learn to understand your self-love, is that's that feeling nature of how you define and create those moments that you can then recreate something differently. The feeling of being lost, of not having the power of choice. Why are you looking at me funny, Scott?
Jen, she shuddered for a second there.
Jen, would you like to explain?
Oh, well, when I get cold chills, or when spirits decide that they're going to speak through me, then I have what people see as a cold chill or a shudder.
And that is a feeling of what they call a tell sign.
Right.
You know, and that's her way of knowing, and that's not a bad thing. It's a tell sign. But like the barometric pressure lately, people say, oh yeah, I know it's going to rain because of the pain in my hip. But they're not kidding, because they are sensitive to the vibrations of how the planet is changing, or the atmosphere is changing. So,
yeah.
Now tell me about Hilda Clark.
Oh, Hilda Clark, she did something similar to Royal Rice, with a machine that works with disease. She was able to, she studied parasites and bacteria and viruses, I think. She developed a little
Handheld gadget with a battery.
With a 9-volt battery and 2 probes, and you can also make colloidal silver with the machine too.
Yes.
But it would run a low frequency through electrical frequency through your body that would attack
Right.
the various parasites or viruses.
Who's the woman?
I guess a virus is literally a parasite, wouldn't it be?
To some degree, yes and no, because a parasite is that form that actually has a more of a solid form on that vibration. Now the book, it's a cure to cure all cancers or to cure all diseases.
Yeah.
Now, who wrote that book? I know Hilda Clark's stuff's in there.
I think she did. Yeah, I used to have it, and I loaned it to somebody, and of course never got it back. But,
Yeah, I don't remember. My books are too. Are they the real big, fat, thick ones?
No. This was just a really skinny book.
Okay, so there was another woman that wrote these books, and she put Hilda Clark's information there. But yeah, there's a lot of wonderful stuff you can do out there because it's all based on these vibrations. Now the viruses, they are a different form of, what do you want to call it? It's just all these different frequencies. You got the prawns, you got the parasites, you got the viruses, you got the bacteria, fungus,
and they all have a frequency. I think
right.
Cancer, according to David Hawkins, I think cancer has a hertz frequency of something like 75, or it
Yes.
might be 125. I can't remember.
No, I think it's about. I think you're about right. I think it's that low. Because, see, cancer is when your body has finally hit the stage of, oh, I'm not supposed to keep you alive. Now it's my job to decay you. It only knows how to keep you survived or do the job of. That little microbe in your body gets a lot of direction based on what we think, how we handle our environment. It's all those belief systems. Yeah, that's the book there. Now, okay, the book she just pulled up was The Cure All Disease. And
All Diseases.
And it's Hilda Clark, yeah. Okay, you know what? I kept thinking it was another woman that wrote that, but Hilda Clark, yeah.
Yeah, it's Hulda Clark.
Hulda. Ah, okay.
Yeah, Hulda Clark. Yeah, the other thing I wanted to say, that the other way that I'm experiencing the energy shift within my own body is spinning.
Oh.
It's a very, very weird. The first time I did it was about a year ago. I was teaching a Reiki class and a Reiki 1 class, and I had 2 students, and we were letting them practice, and I was letting them practice on me, and I got up on the table, and within a couple of minutes after they started, I felt like I was going to spin off the table, like a propeller.
Right.
And then the other night, I turned over in bed, and I felt like I was getting ready to tip over as if I were on an inversion table.
So would it be more like a vertigo?
No, I've had vertigo before. I know what
This
vertigo
is a little different.
No,
Okay.
This is completely different.
So your proprioception is not balancing, which is a little different than the vertigo. Go ahead.
I was going to say, if you could do the heaven and earth.
Yeah, separating heaven and earth.
Separating heaven and earth from Donna Eden, as far as being a connection to the planet.
Now the proprioception is that if it's taking and tilting, you may not come back in alignment properly. So the proprioception of where is the spatialness of where your muscles are, where your feet are, where things are, and that feeling of being able to, like you're going to fall off your bed even though you know it's flat. It's just like learning how to drive a car. We took our son out to drive, or test drive, and play around in the driveway so that he could get the feel of the mechanics and the feel of that car as it's in motion, because if he doesn't get that feeling, he's not going to be able to be in charge of driving. And so the proprioception, you could tell that it was well, if I turn the wheel this way, why does the car do that? If I'm doing this, how come it's doing that? And so he literally, I says, I want you to just get all those questions out. Test it. What happens if you do this? And so he could get a feel for it. And so it's learning to get your sea legs again, or in this case, your earth legs. And now I'm going to check a little bit further to what's going on. And I don't know if Jen can find anything in there or not, but
we should take a break.
Oh, we'll take a break. Can you just hold on real quick, and we'll come right back. So don't hang up on us, Karen. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
So
we're back.
We're back.
Yes, we are. And so, what I discovered was that I asked a question about the sensation that she's feeling, and they said it's a future response, which means there's a body part. Her body parts are anticipating. No, they aren't anticipating, so they don't have that pathway. Okay. And so then I went a little further and I said, do tell me what is going on. They pointed to the third chakra, the do center, your act of doing, and the act of the fifth chakra, which is to speak. But the fifth chakra is also about the will, the volition to move. So if you take the will and you take the third chakra to do, then it boils down to let's look a little further. So then I asked, okay, so what is this? Is her cough have anything to do with the sensation being off? And they said yes. I said, oh, and then they said it's about that stomach meridian and it's the alarm part of her. I said, all right, let's go a little further. And then it said that there was, let's get back into doing this again, because now I lost that piece that I had.
Now, do you know how long I've had this cough?
No, how long?
Probably 20 years.
Yes. And it's the it's okay, it's again, how do I put it? It's a, I just had it, now I gotta remember where I put it. It goes into a core belief, okay? And this falls under the category of, I consciously want to move forward, but if you were to ask your subconscious, no, we're going to ask Jen. Jen, focus on her. So, Jen, think about it, and then, right. So, I consciously will move forward. No. So, the future part of this energy, now, I'm going to say soulfully, do you want to move forward? Yes. Soulfully, do you want to be a part of this? Yes. Do you feel that you have the ability to? No. Do you believe you're smart enough? No. Does that have to do with the faulty belief? No. Okay, so we've got to find and whittle it down. What is causing this faulty belief? This cough has everything to do with suppression, grief. You're being the problem. Oh, it's not even your belief. You're being the problem. So there's always got to be a fight. I always have to protest. Let me write that down real quick. Fight and protest. And you're the problem.
You're the problem.
All right, what do I mean by that, Jen? From your perspective.
I'm trying to remember the birth order for you. You have siblings, yes, Karen?
Younger.
Younger. You're the oldest?
It happens that the server goes down for whatever reason, but we're back. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to Karen, and let's turn. Hi, Karen. We're back, and we're ready to get back onto our show. So thanks for patiently being waiting. And I don't know what happened to everybody, but that's okay. Now I was looking at you, and Jen had asked you a question of, do you have brothers and sisters? And you said yes. And I said, are you the oldest or the youngest?
I'm the oldest.
Okay. So Jen, where were you going to go for that? Do you remember?
Well, because she was the problem, and so there something struck as far as
Firstborn.
Firstborn. I don't know if you were anticipated, if you were wanted, if you were planned, if with the parents, you know, how everything goes into wanting to have
which would make sense. What would make sense, because what if you weren't supposed to come along and you became the problem? And then you have to fight and protest just to be heard and to make differences and changes in the world. Now, you're not living that as you did as a child, but you're living that as an adult. Does this make sense now?
Oh, yeah.
So, because you're still carrying that feeling of knowing it is still sitting in the system, and it's asking to be released. Now, the cough has everything to do with, now did you ever go to the doctor? Did they say it was bronchitis? What did they say the cough was about?
Well, I basically diagnosed myself with, excuse me, I was diagnosed with asthma when I went to the doctor, because I was literally coughing 24 hours a day. But I had asthma then.
Mm-hmm.
But this is not asthma.
No.
This is something different.
Right.
I have had bronchitis. I'll cough when pollen's up, and it gets, anytime an allergy hits, I'll cough. Easily if there's dust, a lot of dust like a dirt road. It's different. I wish I understood it more.
Okay, so we're going to help you understand
it. All the way back, like you're saying, because there's a lot of stuff that went around with. Started actually even before I was conceived.
Okay, so when we lost connection, I was asking her the question about the birth order, and you had, in your investigation, talked about the future, about the connection to the planet,
Having
about
to
the
protest,
spinning,
having
to fight for it,
and then
so what
same
is
time,
the connection?
you are the problem.
Right.
So I'm watching the core belief that you are the problem, which is part of your soul's journey, and also what you picked up before you. So in the womb, about 3 to 4 months in the womb, you were a problem. That's like somebody didn't want you. Your parents didn't want you. It's like, oh my God, I can't be pregnant right now. So that means that the baby would be the problem. Now, I watch your body go into triple warmer, which is it goes into shock, then goes over to the heart, which is, oh my God, and when you're not feeling loved in that return, then it goes into the grief of the lungs. Okay? So this particular pattern I'm watching play out, and it's literally where I would tell you to hold R3S and think about how there's things on this planet you don't want, so you can see the shock of some of the things, or going back to how you're not wanted and seeing the shock on that. But going down to the heart of it, then you would go to L1D and get into the heart of it of going, oh my God, my heart hurts because of what's going on. Now, the reason why is because the triple warmer is the army, and it will attack everything in its defense, and it can't touch the heart. But it's saying that because the heart of being thrown off center, of not being wanted, loved, or accepted, what happens is that the heart hurts, and literally is causing the blood pressure or the triglycerides. Usually it's the triglycerides that are off. And what will happen is it will create the lungs to start filling up with the bronchitis issue. So it's like your heart, I don't know how to explain it, your heart actually affects the lung. It will affect the way that the fluids are being in the body. Because the lungs are supposed to fill up with air, and the stomach meridian is supposed to pass the energy through. So the energy is supposed to come in through the lung and pass it through. But if you are having issues with love, because the heart is everything, the heart is that you can be loved, but it's a bridge between as above, so below. And the particular pattern is that you've learned to move forward in your life, you've learned to have passion and understand where maybe you need to be the voice for somebody, to give knowledge, to protest, to know that you don't have to think the way everybody does. You can ask questions and challenge whatever. But when it comes to receiving the love, you get people that don't hold up to the end of their bargain. You don't get them that will show up with, look up high triglycerides, just the word triglycerides. The way the blood is supposed to flow with joy, and the heart pumps that blood, if something's off, then you can have an issue. Now, the reason I pull up triglycerides is because I had a similar cough, and mine was based on the fact, now they kept saying it was everything else, but I know it had to do with triglycerides. I know, now that was the only thing that showed up on my test, but they said, oh, but you have this, this, and this wrong with you, and I know it has to do with the way that my heart felt. So, Jen, if you could.
It's on the same page as two. Oh. Anyway, triglycerides that are high, love, joy, incompetent. They have difficulties in integrating and expressing love and joy in their life. They don't believe that they deserve positive experiences at a deep underlying level. It is a low self-esteem process. They had rather intense acceptance, rejection, ambivalence from their family as they were growing up.
Does that make sense? Any of that?
Absolutely.
All right, read the next one, Jen.
Life sucks. They have the feeling that they have lost their life, that they have lost their enjoyment in living. They are harboring a good deal of resentment about their quality of life. They are the product of a dysfunctional family in which they were the responsible one who had to sacrifice their joy to the altar of family rescue.
And does that sound familiar?
Yep.
All right, read the third one.
I, me, mine. They are rather intensely egocentric and narcissistic in their functioning. Their underlying attitude is that the world doesn't come through for them. They come from a self-immersed and selfish family who had little concern for their impact on the ecology.
Does that make any sense?
not as much. No.
Okay, so it's the other ones
Yeah.
that happen to come into play. Now don't shut it, but put it up there. So you understand that this cough is somehow based on the fact that you're not loved. And so the cough is a fighting back. You have to bark at the world. You're trying to communicate something.
If people who try to clear the word, they don't try, they clear their throat to get attention. I'm trying to make my voice, they can't interject into the conversation any other way.
Right, and a lot of times clearing of the throat can just boil down to you don't know how to, maybe the awkwardness of being around people. My mother would be in a space where there would be total quiet and a bunch of people, she'd automatically go into a coughing fit just because it was too quiet. She didn't know how to communicate. She wanted to bark, she wanted to fit in, she wanted not to be there, okay? But now if I look again about the feeling, sensation of falling off the bed or not fitting right, they said it was the future energy that's coming in, and you're like pretty much okay with it, but your body has a core belief, and the core belief falls all the way back to not who you are, your authentic self, but into a limitation. This limitation is that you are the problem, and that you have to fight and protest just so you can stay on this planet. And that no longer serves. It served you, it made sense when you created those belief systems when you were in the womb at 3.5, 4 months old. People will say, there's no way you can make a belief system at that age. Yes, yes you can. You are consciousness. There is no age. It's not linear. You are a consciousness, and as you interplay with it at that stage, and if your first test on this planet, before you're even born, is your soul comes up with the issue, and the way you react to it is unhealthy, it's a negative, and what happens is that it marks it. It marks that this is where, oh, we got more work to do. Now, the way you're going to observe it, the way you're going to judge it, the way you're going to make yourself feel better, because you're like, what the hell just happened? And the only way to really process it without tools is you have to come up with a rational, irrational decision. So what little capabilities you had, you just said, oh my God, I'm not wanted. I have to fight. I want to stay. I want to be loved. And so you can see the system is not working, and so now you've got to protest and say, change the system. It's like trying to say, Ma, you're not looking at me. Change, Mom, look at me. So you were fighting at that age. And it made sense to you at that time. And now as an adult, you're like, oh, screw it, I don't care. But at the same time, that limitation, that foundation is still sitting in your presence, because the future is like the attic. You can't put the attic on unless the foundation is in place and the walls are healthy, and then you can put the attic in. And for you, your foundation is rocky, the walls are not at best when it comes to certain particular things, and so your attic wants to shake. So as you physically age and move forward and do and act and be, your body's going to fight like hell. Because it don't want you to, because it's going, no, you can't do that, you're not wanted. You learn to conquer. You told your brain, I can conquer, and I'm going to do it, and you did it. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so when your body is fighting against who you are, that makes a big difference. We're going to take a small little break, and we'll be right back, okay?
We're back.
We're back. Okay, so a couple things. Jen had asked me, what do you mean by the do center? And that is the third chakra is about that ability to do and take action. And if you said, my grandfather did not like my dad, Mom got pregnant in the first month of marriage, then I had to give it up for the other 4 kids, or kids 4 to 6.5 years later. And you're also going to be the test kid. You know?
Oh, yeah.
And so the thing is, barking, I had barking at the world, which is like coughing, is I don't want to be here. So now I'm going to ask your body, yes, we found the past, but in the present moment, I don't want to be here. So Jen, tune into her. I don't want to be here. Lung, thyroid, heart. And with the circumstances she's living in, with the people around her, just being on the planet at this time, will to live, wanting to die, Have you ever decided you ever wanted to die?
I'm still here.
There is the...
But yeah, I mean, if I, got hit by a train tomorrow, I wouldn't be upset about it.
Okay. Because the will to die is sometimes we wish we were dead. The energy of this feeling can become lodged in the body and create continuous imbalance.
It's also any time in your life.
Right. I mean, if this has happened at 18 or 20 years ago, so if your cough started 20 years ago, was there a part of you that just wished that you weren't here?
Yeah. I think that's about 20 years ago was when I sort of shut down for about 4 years.
Okay, because it's different than no will to live. You have the will to live, that's why you're here, but the will to die is that, at some point you had thought this and your body remembered it. And so your body sometimes don't want to take in that extra energy or chi of life that goes into the lungs, and because it doesn't have that balance, it can affect the rest of your body. So now I'm going to look at, did she have the will to die? Yes. Inside the womb at birth, 1 to 5 to 10, 10 to 20, 40. What happened at 46, dear?
46. I think that was, I was a nanny. I was working, I was a nanny. That was, I moved to Arizona. In that'd be 99. I moved to Arizona.
So you had to stop being a nanny?
Huh?
Did you have to stop being a nanny?
Oh, I got burned out and I finally gave it up in 2001. But yeah, I was a nanny then.
Yes, and it's, okay, now it makes sense. When we have had the identity for so long, and we can get burned out by it. This is like people that have had a job for 20, 30 years and they're burned out by it. And just like you did for being a nanny, there's a part of you that, what else can you become besides that identity? And your body, it had to push you to the burnout point, which is the bitch slap point, because you wouldn't say no when it was first told, said stop doing this, change of direction. And you had to hit burnout, so your body would just say, okay, you can't do it anymore. And when that occurs, your identity becomes lost. We still have a friend up on and one of the things he did is that he had to take care of people for so long that he got burned out by it, that now he can't function. He just wants a break. He just wants a break. He just wants a break, which now it's been 10 years or so of a break, and he can't recover because his identity now has become the break. And he hasn't resolved his issues, so the issues of the past becomes his issues. His body's fallen apart because he has no other form of identity. And you do. It's just that your body was tired. And so as you're trying to go into the unknown, well, I drew this card earlier, so I just realized I had it and they're telling me to read it. It's called Into the Unknown. It's number 7, but it's reversed. And it says, inexperience plus overconfidence can lead you into the dangerous situations for your unprepared. Now, that's part of your scaredness as far as the future. Because I thrown to you, hey, do you want to become a writer or something like that? And you're like, yeah, that'd be great, but, I don't have a lot of experience in that area or in a specific area. And which is good, but at the same time, your identity is that you're inexperienced. And there's a part of you that knows that you have quite a bit of knowledge. I know you do. Always remember that wisdom comes from experience. Keep an open mind and enter this part of your journey with alert eyes. Don't assume you know this territory already. You may not recognize what is hidden by camouflage. This is not the time for careless adventure, which means that you may already know how things are with your family and what you like and don't like, but what if you were to take the risk and move forward? But we first have to heal the idea is that you have that will to die, and it's the overwhelmness that had stuck with you. So my way of telling you is energetically, if you give permission, we'll work on taking and removing that energetic pattern out of your field. Then that overwhelmness that you're tired and you want to die, yeah, go ahead, would be R2D. So if you say yes, Jen's going to now send it not just to the matrix but to you.
Sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And now, then I want you to take how you know it, the familiarity, and hold R2D. And then you're going to notice how the overwhelming wants you just to be in flee mode. You're tired. You've been running and your lungs are tired. They want to catch up with the air. They're tired. And you're going to focus on that, and it'll be R2D, okay?
Okay.
All right, and now notice that the family wants to come over, and you want to run from it because they're overwhelming. Okay?
Yeah.
You want to bark and cough because you don't want to be there with them because you know the same pattern. But, you know, hold R2D and he'll help it that way. We appreciate you being on the show. We got to start to close now. And we're really appreciative to you and Kimberly and Mark. So we will stay connected. We got a Friday show, and we'll see you then at 2 to 4. How's that? Thank you, dear.
5 to 7.
Or 5 to 7.
Thank you.
God darn it.
Thank you.
Yes.
Friday, 5 to 7.
5 to 7 on Friday.
Yes, thank you for all the support and all
Definitely.
the goodies
Thanks a
and
lot, Karen.
Yes.
everything that you do.
All
for
right.
us.
So you heal, and we'll talk to you later, okay?
Okay.
All right,
Take
bye-bye.
care.
I'm on it.
Okay.
All right, so if we're not doing a handoff, then we will go ahead, and we just got about a countdown for a few seconds, and then you're going to hit the outro. So we really appreciate y'all being here. So what do we say?
Thank you.
And we will see you the
And
next
good
time.
evening.
Yeah, we got to figure
Check
out.
us out on
And our
YouTube.
word
Find
party
us on
works.
Facebook.
Yes.
Keep healing.
Keep healing. Yes, you can heal that. There you go, Kimberly.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Ready?
Bye.
Go. Thank you. Bye.